Lord, would you shower my pain? Let it rain on me while I cherish the air I breathe. I'm an angel.
Ja Rule went from being a popular hip-hop star in the 90s to getting exiled from the United States, and it has been a huge blow to his reputation. The hip-hop star had a successful run and a great background story, from growing up on the streets to making millions of dollars in music. But now his legacy is about to go down the drain, and here's everything you need to know about how he went from rap icon to controversial celeb. Born Jeffrey Bruce Atkins in Queens, New York, Ja Rule was raised in a religious family. His father left when he was a child, and his sister also died while they were young, so he grew up as a single child. His mother was a healthcare worker who did not have time to stay in the house, so Ja Rule spent most of his childhood with his grandparents. That was mistake number one, as his old grandparents could not keep their eyes on him all the time, and he left the Jehovah's Witness church and started pushing drugs. Hollis, where he grew up, was riddled with drug trades and gang violence, and when he left his grandparents' church when he was 12 years old, he started selling drugs too. The interesting thing about his life selling drugs is that most of his customers were the parents of the kids he went to school with. How he was able to market to them is beyond us, because why would you find a 12-year-old selling drugs and patronize them? What happened to contacting their parents? Getting them help? Advising and helping them to stay in school? Some years after leaving the drug trade in 1994, when he was 18 years old, Ja Rule found his passion for rapping and joined Chris Black in 2001 in the hip-hop group Cash Money Click. The trio worked with DJ Irv to produce their songs and release their debut single, Get the Fortune. They released the track independently, and with the success of the single, they got a record deal with TVT Records. They re-released the song under the label as the B-side to their second single, For My Click. The track featured Mike Geronimo and became popular on pirate radio, further showing the world that they had a great future in hip-hop. But all that came crashing down when Chris Black got arrested in 1995 before the release of their third single. The group could not continue without Chris, and they were disbanded and all dropped out of the label. Ja Rule maintained a close relationship with DJ Irv, who had then started working at Def Jam and changed his name to Irv Gotti. Irv was employed as an A&R for the label and was able to scout Ja Rule into the label. He made his first appearance in the label when he starred in Mike Geronimo's song Time to Build, alongside DMX and Jay-Z, who were also in the early stages of their career. Ja Rule then went on to collaborate with Christina Milian in Between Me and You, which went on to become one of the hottest songs at the time. It charted at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. With all of this success, how did Ja Rule end up becoming a laughingstock in the industry? It all started with his beef with 50 Cent. Now, you may be wondering, is 50 Cent that powerful to cause so much damage to Ja Rule's name in person? Well, at the time, not quite, but his beef with Ja Rule made the mesmerized rapper embarrass himself badly, which may have been part of the reasons Ja Rule's career tanked. But let's get into it. Ja Rule was shooting a music video in 1999 in the Queens neighborhood when he got robbed of his necklace. After the robbery, he was in the club and saw the person who had robbed him was hanging out with 50 Cent. Apparently, 50 Cent was relatively new in the industry, was friends with the robber, and Ja Rule started assuming it was 50 Cent that sent his friend to rob him. 50 Cent had no beef with Ja Rule before the robbery, so it made no sense for him to get accused like that. But this account is 50 Cent's version of what happened, which makes their beef weird. According to Ja Rule's account, he had gotten robbed while shooting the music video for Murder for Life, but he did not see 50 Cent in the club and acted frosty toward him and his friend. In fact, he did not see 50 Cent at all. He claimed that 50 Cent was angry at him because he got snubbed by Murder Inc. and was denied the opportunity of being in Ja's music video. So, 50 Cent was acting out of spite towards him, which makes the beef one-sided. Well, it was hard to tell who was lying and how the beef started, but we know it was revolving around the Murder for You music video. And in 1999 still, 50 Cent released a diss track aimed at Ja Rule and Murder Inc. called Life's on the Line. The track came off his shelved debut album, which never saw the light of day, as it was eclipsed by Ja Rule's album Veni Vidi Vici. Ja Rule did not respond to 50 Cent's diss track, and they were paid to perform at the same club in 2000. They were some of the hottest rappers at the time, but the event organizer had no reason to invite both of them on the same day. As they met at the club, 50 and Ja got into an argument, which led to a physical altercation. It was just the start of more things to happen, and what people thought was just studio hate soon turned into more than that. Still in 2000, Ja Rule got a tip that 50 Cent was going to be at Hit Factory Studios in New York, and went there with his Murder Inc. crew. They ran into G-Unit at the studio as planned, and a fight broke out, leading to Murder Inc.'s Black Child stabbing 50 Cent. Now, things were pretty serious, and it was obvious that these two people were willing to spill blood. After 50 Cent recovered, he got into the studio in 2002 and released Wanksta, which was his first hit single and peaked at number 13 on Billboard. He revealed that Ja Rule was the inspiration behind the title of the song, a name that would later be used to identify Ja for years. 50 Cent's street credibility then came under attack in 2002 when Irv Gotti revealed that the In the Club rapper had filed a protection order against him and Ja Rule. Getting a protection order against an op is one of the lowest things a gangster can do because what do you mean you're not bold enough to face them? To protect his image, 50 Cent denied ever getting a protection order, and people found out that it was the police that issued it on behalf of him. 50 Cent then released a diss track to prove that they had nothing on him, which led to a series of back-and-forth diss tracks between him and Ja Rule. 50 Cent then signed to Shady Records in Aftermath in 2002, making Ja Rule and Irv Gotti mad. They expressed their dissatisfaction with Eminem and Dr. Dre for signing an artist that they had issues with, and threatened to take actions against them if they allowed 50 Cent to release any song that was depreciatory of Murder Inc. As if the warning was not enough, Ja Rule then released a diss track calling out 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. His mistake with that track was mentioning Eminem's 7-year-old daughter at the time, Haley. Everyone who knows Eminem knows he doesn't play about his daughter, and the last thing you should do is call her in any feud you have with him. In response, Eminem released a track titled Haley's Revenge. But that was not enough, as Busta Rhymes joined the conflict and collaborated on a 2003 track with Eminem, Dr. Dre, and 50 Cent. They released Hail Mary, which was a remake of Tupac's Hail Mary. The song came as a partial response to Ja Rule remaking Tupac's song Pain, which he renamed So Much Pain. The rappers felt Ja Rule was not skilled or talented enough to make any Tupac song, and he should take a step back while the master showed him how it was done. In the track, they made fun of him for imitating Tupac. Afterwards, Eminem made sure Ja Rule was not allowed to work on any of the remakes of Tupac's songs. And that was when people in the industry really started to move away from him. Ja Rule could have focused the beef and attention on 50 Cent, but he decided to bring Eminem's child into it, and that is just off limits. But that was just the start of many more things to happen to him. In 1999, after Murder Inc. broke up because of the tension between DMX and Jay-Z, DMX accused Ja Rule of copying his gruff style of rapping. He dissed Ja Rule and Where the Hood At, and made mention of Ja being homophobic. He said that Ja was having with the same sex, so he really had no reason to be homophobic. Ja Rule responded with several disses on his album Blood in My Eye. They squashed their beef in 2009 after Irv Gotti asked DMX to let things go while he was in jail. But as they squashed their beef, it led to a friendship that made Ja Rule get dragged by Corrupt, who had beef with DMX. They squashed their beef while on a movie set in 2002. But it appears that Ja Rule cannot stay quiet for 5 seconds, because in October 2002, he was on a radio show when he said he couldn't stand Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown was one of Jay-Z's proteges, and she had been accused of working with Nas and Ja Rule to release a diss track against Jay, which she denied. So when Ja made that remark about her, she was flabbergasted because she had never met him before. It led to her releasing a diss track called Get Off Me. But in 2009, they decided to place everything behind them as they celebrated the 25th anniversary of Def Jam Recordings. After working on a track with Ja Rule in 2003, Lil Mo gave a shout out to 50 Cent at a show. Ja Rule and the rest of Murder Inc. were enraged because how dare she give a shout out to their rival? Did she not know her place? It was really delusional on their part, but they didn't care. Ja released a diss track titled Loose Change where he insulted Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and Lil Mo. He called Lil Mo the B-word and claimed that he was the only reason she was popular. Lil Mo released her own diss track and interpolated Dr. Dre's lyrics in his diss track to Eazy-E. She rapped, "Used to be my homie, used to be my ace, now I can't stand you. Yeah, I want to slap the taste out your mouth." In a 2003 interview, Lil Mo revealed that she did not receive good payment nor recognition for her work on Ja Rule's track, I Cry and Put It On Me. She then reminisced on how Jay-Z gave her a plaque, money, recognition, and a bottle of Cristal for her work on his song, Parking Lot Pimpin'. It was really low of Ja Rule to diss her and claim he made her popular when he didn't even pay her what she was worth at the end of the day. In that same year, she filed a $15 million lawsuit against him and Murder Inc., but dropped it and forgave him in 2011 when she saw his career was struggling. Lil Mo said life was too short, so there was really no point in her dragging a case with somebody who was already down bad. As if the issues he was having with so many rappers in the industry was not enough, Ja Rule got into a fraud fiasco. In 2017, the greatest millennial scam in the form of an event called the Fyre Festival was organized, and Ja Rule was at the forefront of the promotion of this event. Promotions for the event promised a place where the tropical sun shines all day, and our celebrations ignite the night. This is an invitation to unplug, connect with something deeper, and hunt for something bigger. The promise of an amazing festival in a great location was enough to get people excited, and everyone wanted to be a part of it. This elaborate scam started with Billy McFarland, who started a credit card company called Magnus's. McFarland had created a name for himself as a serial investor before the FBI revealed that he was actually a serial fraudster who defrauded over 100 investors of $26 million. Anyway, let's go back to Magnus's. The credit card company promised people access to an invite-only black card, which was seen as a financial status symbol that showed how wealthy you were. A black card has no spending limit, so for you to get one, it means you don't check your account balance before making purchases. The black card was targeted at millennials. McFarland promised them access to exclusive parties, hard-to-get concert tickets, posh restaurants and clubs, all at a fee of $250 per year. When we first looked into the case, our first thought was exactly how was he going to provide access to these posh places with only $250? Even if he was working with the organizers of the event or the owners of the clubs and restaurants, how was he going to convince them to let his thousands or hundreds of members enter those places for only $250 for the whole year? We are able to look at things objectively because the product is not being marketed to us. But back then, the thought of living a classy life for less than $1,000 was enough to make people want to get in on the opportunity. Critics then started pointing out that there was nothing special about the black cards he was giving people. The Magnus's black card was not a standalone credit card, as it was connected to their original cards and all the charges were being reverted back to their original card. But they were silenced as people were already sold on the dream. Magnus's started to stall and struggle as more and more customers started complaining, which made McFarland start a new business called Fyre Media, and that was when he teamed up with Ja Rule. Fyre Media was going to be a platform for people to book celebrities at the tap of a simple button. We are talking A-listers like Jay-Z and Beyonce all at the tap of one button. To promote the Fyre Media app, Ja Rule and McFarland hosted the Fyre Festival in Bahamas, and they convinced investors to pump millions of dollars into the app and festival. Ja Rule was one of the investors, even if we don't know how much he invested. He promoted the festival relentlessly on his social media, with promises of supermodel Bella Hadid being in attendance. Kendall Jenner received $250,000 to make one Instagram post about the festival to her over 100 million followers at the time. And so many other celebrities and influencers also got their payout. With so much hype around the event, people spent hundreds to thousands of dollars securing tickets so they could see acts like Designer and Tyga perform. But on the day of the festival, they were met with tents and soaked mattresses, as opposed to the luxurious houses they were promised. They were also offered stale sandwiches instead of the 5-star meal they were promised. There was no supermodel or celebrity in sight, and everything was a disaster. People had to fight to get bed space to spend the night while they processed the disappointment they were experiencing. Many lawsuits were filed against Billy McFarland and Ja Rule, but Ja Rule revealed that he was also deceived by McFarland, so people should go easy on him too. McFarland was eventually sentenced to 5 years in prison and ordered to pay back all the money he stole from people, while Ja Rule was vindicated because the judges determined that he was not aware that the festival would turn out to be a disaster too. But trust his greatest op, 50 Cent, to clown him for it. It was not the first time Ja Rule was involved in some federal money-grabbing issue, as he was also sentenced to 28 months in prison in 2013 for tax evasion. He was already in prison for hiding weapons in his car when he was hit with the second charge of tax evasion. He had not paid tax on his earnings of $3 million from 2004 to 2006. Ja Rule claimed that he did not have anybody guiding him on his finances, so he didn't know anything about taxes. While we may not agree on a lot of things with Ja Rule, we understand how many people struggle with taxes. When people talk about Ja Rule, it should be to praise him for his impact in hip-hop and giving great artists like Ashanti a chance. However, his name only comes up when people want to talk about a new questionable thing he has done, which goes in saying that surrounding yourself with a great team and amazing people is the best thing you can do for your career.